Well, we're there.
Are we?
Yeah, we are.
I didn't even realize it.
Yeah, we're 9 seconds in now.
Oh,
Fios One News, Joe Chaffee and Joe Rayo here. He's Lower Hudson Valley.
And he's Long Island and also New Jersey. Yes.
And we have, we don't often talk about storms hitting Nova Scotia and Newfoundland, but this storm, Joe, this animal of a storm, had a huge impact up in Nova Scotia and Newfoundland.
I'll bet. And of course, we were talking yesterday about how today, are we going to be able to look at some cameras of?
It's nighttime now, and you can't really see anything. And it was kind of tough with the cameras that they did have. I was having a difficult time today looking when I was looking this morning to find a good shot.
Right.
But from what I was told and from what I've been seeing and reading, in Nova Scotia, 250,000 people without power.
Wow.
Hurricane-force wind gusts, heavy rain and snows in New Brunswick. We got the big satellite loop here, and I mean, look at that impressive satellite signature.
Tremendous vortex of sorts, circulation there, and yeah, it looks like a king-size hurricane, except it's not a hurricane. It's really. And speaking of hurricanes, tomorrow's it. The hurricane season officially comes to an end tomorrow.
Yes.
And
pretty active season. Yeah. A couple of majors, of course, Michael and Florence, the two hitting the U.S. and then a peppering of other storms. But those were the two storms for the season. This system is still blocked. There's a big upper high in northern Labrador holding it there, and they're still getting some pretty strong winds, Joe. Take a look at the latest surface map here. As soon as I slide it over, and there it is.
Look at that.
That's from earlier. Let me just get should have the 0Z map, and we do. I mean, that's really a wrapped up. It looks like it's 965 millibars. It did get down into the mid 950s, and it's been sitting there all day long. So it's just waiting for a little bit of a push, which it's going to get. Can't go north. It tried, and instead it's going to go to the east, actually to the southeast and then east.
Right.
But the temperature, the wind. Hopefully I left it up here. Yeah, I did. Here we go. There's missing data here at the moment, but
and the anemometer broke.
Right, and the winds are a bit lower on the south-facing coast of Nova Scotia. You've got these gusts that are in the mid-20s, but we've got some spots getting gusts up into the 40s here. Let's see if I can get close enough. I can't. The points are not showing up that I can pull down the stations like I did last night. And along the south coast of Newfoundland, where I saw gusts earlier today in the 60-plus mile an hour range, but still blowing every bit of 45 to 55. There's a whole lot of flooding inland, river flooding, heavy snows in the highlands where temperatures are down in the 20s. Right, 60 mile an hour wind gusts. I'm not sure what that is on the north point there, because again, the points aren't showing up very well, but it's northeast of Lewisport.
Go all the way up. Up.
On the northern peninsula?
Okay, yeah, that 44. Now, I'm not sure if that's St. Anthony or not, but I have been, I actually, on a ship, actually curved around the top.
I went through the Strait of Belle Isle?
Yeah.
Must be just absolutely gorgeous up there.
It is beautiful. I would strongly suggest, not now, of course, but maybe during the late spring or summertime, if you have a chance, either to visit or maybe even cruise around Nova Scotia and Newfoundland. It is a beautiful, beautiful region.
And
a lot of people go to the Bahamas.
Yeah.
I'm not knocking the Bahamas or Bermuda or whatever like that, but think about it if you're taking a cruise.
No, I totally get it. Yeah. I mean, this is a gorgeous part of the world.
Yeah.
And, a lot of
you know what you get to see
nature and a lot of undeveloped area.
You know what you get to see in Newfoundland are the puffins.
Yes,
those
are very cool birds.
Yeah.
All right. So that storm moves out, Joe, and now we're going to start to focus our attention on the west.
Sequence.
Well, we got the west coast,
right?
Because we've got this powerhouse that doesn't look. It looks a little disorganized on the radars, but remember, you got mountains out here. This was a very impressive system when it moved into California today. Heavy rains, heavy snows going on in the mountains. They've got winter storm warnings up all over the place. In fact, we can actually show you. Figured wanted to go over this a little bit. move our way out into Iowa and Nebraska. They should populate here. Yeah, there we go. So we've got all sorts of winter storm warnings up in interior California, up the mountains, and even into southern Oregon, in preparation for the storm moving into the plains and eventually into the upper Midwest. We have winter storm watches and some winter storm warnings already up for parts of southern Nebraska. Northern Nebraska and southernmost South Dakota. They're going to be 1 foot plus snows out of this from this next system coming in for Saturday into Saturday night.
Right. And are those temperatures?
Those were temperatures. Let me go back.
What are we talking about? Over near Chicago, 2 degrees?
Oh, no, those are wind gusts.
Oh,
those are wind gusts. I'm sorry. Usually I put the temperatures on, but I have the wind gusts.
So where did that 2 degrees come from?
And I didn't get a chance to, I know, to fix it. Okay, let's jump to the NAM, the new NAM. And there we go. And we'll take a look. A couple of things that have changed a little bit. We have it out to 48 hours. First off, you got this weak disturbance coming through tomorrow, Joe. I mentioned that there could be a rain or snow shower, and you get a little bit of a blossoming there for the Hudson Valley tomorrow afternoon, but it's fast. It kind of looks worse than it is.
Right.
And then it goes by.
If the temperatures are going to be mostly in the mid or upper 30s, it's going to be one of those harmless. It may look interesting. You may have some big fat wet snowflakes falling at one point during the afternoon hours, but as I've been saying on my weather feeds today, Joe, all day long, and I've been stressing this, this is not it is not going to be a repeat of what we had 2 weeks ago. And believe it or not, I still have one little teeny tiny patch of snow on parts of my lawn.
I'm sure.
You know, it's all gone for the most part, but it's not going to be a repeat or a replay of what we went through 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, this is a totally...
But you know what? In spite of that, I'm sure we're going to see some municipalities sanding and salting to their
you know, that's a conversation that probably needs to be had by somebody regarding that, you know, sheer overreaction now. But you know, going into this weekend with this weather system, it's a little unusual because it looks like it wants to go to our west, but you got this signature blocking that's going on in eastern Canada, and as a result, this low can't really go very fast, at least through Saturday evening. It's sitting in southwestern Iowa. You can see where the big snows are falling.
Right.
But oddly enough, Joe, you're getting this high, this high that pops up here in upstate New York. It goes into Maine, and the thing I'm concerned about in watching the model trends, and I don't know if you're thinking along the same lines, but you certainly talked about this yesterday. I'm starting to wonder about how warm it's going to get Sunday, if only because of the fact that you've got this low. It's getting stretched out and taking longer and longer to move through. The rain seems to be starting a little bit later. I'm thinking it might now go a little, you know, past daybreak on Sunday before it ends. Mm-hmm. And the warm front may have a difficult time with these higher pressures that are suddenly appearing up in New England.
Well, if it is going to warm up, the only way that's going to warm up, I have no hope with that warm front. I honestly do believe that it's going to stay off to the south. What I have to hope for, I think what we have to hope for, is that occluded front that will be in western Pennsylvania. This is now...
Right, that runs up... this is Saturday evening.
Saturday evening. Well, the occluded front, as I mentioned last night, the analogy, literally like the crowbar prying the cold air out. Because here's the cold air. It's going to be banked in over the northeast. So what we have to hope for is that occluded front coming through, prying the cold air out, pushing on through, putting us in a westerly airflow, and then the temperatures should jump. And if they do jump at all on Sunday, it's not going to be when you wake up in the morning. It may not even be when you get out there the middle part of the day. That jump may not come until later in the day on Sunday, with the west wind suddenly vigorously coming around, and maybe, just maybe, we might get some intervals or pokes of sunshine. It would have been nice to say today that the front was going to come through faster and we get some good breaks in the clouds and a sunny afternoon or partly sunny afternoon. But now I think it's going to be kind of a bit of a struggle. But that's going to be the key to getting the temperatures up into the 50s on Sunday.
And that high, by the way, for Saturday night, you wonder, some ice north and west of Route 84 with this.
Well, you know, there may very well be that, or there may be some kind of a freezing drizzle or freezing something advisory posted for the northern areas north of 84. That would be for, again, Saturday night. and then on Sunday, just kind of a dreary, cloudy day, and we'll see whether or not that. It looks like the occluded.
Well, this is 2 a.m. This is 1 a.m.
That's
Sunday.
1 a.m.
And most of the rain is still way back to the west.
Right.
You wonder. I mean, is it going to be raining here for a good part of the morning before it goes out?
Well, the back edge. That if I use the Casper Pittsburgh rule, the back edge is already past Pittsburgh, and 8 hours later, it should be where we are.
It should be.
It should be, but where is it?
Look at its surface low, Joe. Look, it barely moves from Saturday morning. This is Saturday morning at 7 a.m.
Right.
And this is at 1 a.m. I mean, it really does. It moves a handful of miles out there in southwestern Iowa and sits there.
It could be bad news. Bad news if you live in Nebraska, parts of South Dakota, the southern half of Minnesota, because this is one of those snowing and blowing events. It's going to be.
This is 1 foot. There's going to be 1 foot plus snows in there. It's a long duration event. I really think that's going to be the case. But
but look at the circulation now. Again, if we can somehow get that occluded front through, we'll get into that west-southwest, a vigorous west-southwest
flow.
Right,
the air that's down through Indiana, Illinois, Kentucky, Tennessee. Right. That air.
Right.
Yeah, if that whole thing can whip through.
Right.
But again, I'm wondering that with that high that's up in Maine, that's sitting there, and you've got this whole blocky look to everything.
Right.
That it might not. It may try and get through, but you wonder whether it's going to get pinched off.
Now we're only out to 54 hours. So.
Right. So we're only out, and just for comparison's sake, I'm going to go back to last night to see the. I mean. Look where the low on last night for 2 a.m. Sunday was sitting in central Lake Michigan, and now on today's run, it's back in southwestern Iowa. It's just slower. It's getting stretched out longer and longer, and I think this is one of the reasons why we're seeing the model volatility for next week with regards to. The attention has been for Tuesday with that system. I'm starting to wonder whether we're not done yet with seeing the upper air changing a bit.
Well, I said yes,
and that this could lead to that could still wind up leading to some complications for the middle of next week.
Right. Well, again, at this time of the year, you can't really put much emphasis on anything. I think beyond 3 or 4 days. Tuesday, I've seen people. Screaming that we're going to have a big nor'easter here on Tuesday or Tuesday night, and today's runs didn't really support any of that. But then again, we're still about 4 or 5 days out, and things can change certainly. So
I'm wondering whether we might wind up with something maybe more along the lines of Wednesday, if only because, and I'll explain my logic in a second. I guess everybody is on here at the same time looking at maps because they're kind of dripping in.
Right.
Levi, I made your site popular. I should have not done that.
Well,
that's Levi Cowan TropicalTidbits.com, which is it's I think it's one of the best weather map websites out there in my never to be humble opinion.
I'm sure the same thing is happening at the NCEP site and every other site.
I don't know about the. I kind of think that. I know most even the weather I shouldn't say this. In fact, I won't say it.
Well, I'm just saying
it's a great
wherever you can get a map. Just look at a map or something, they just grab onto it or whatever.
Here's my logic on this. Okay, so you got this upper low that's taking now forever to get out of the way, and you see how it just gets stretched.
Yeah.
All right. So as a result. Unlike yesterday, where the GFS was trying to build this ridge in between because this system should be out somewhere east of Newfoundland.
Right.
Instead, it's getting stretched out, almost like pulling taffy. And now we've got a northwest flow here on Tuesday.
Right.
So anything that is in that southern stream, and there's going to be another system coming into California over the weekend, and that's it on Tuesday in southern Missouri, it gets squashed underneath. But what I'm thinking is, suppose you could see there's 2 short waves here, okay?
Right.
You've got this piece here, then you've got the piece that's from Virginia, North Carolina. Literally, you get like some kind of flat low that forms way out and goes away. But you've got this second short wave that's coming down from Lake Superior down into Nebraska. They're both separate. And then there's another one. There's another one right behind it.
Right.
you've got so many puzzle pieces here. There's so many shortwaves running around. There's too many players.
Right.
And I just wonder whether if over the next 2 days that we might see some of these pieces kind of rearrange themselves a little bit.
Oh, yeah. You'll have one run maybe where one of the models teleconnects. They would with two separate streams. Now, all of a sudden they teleconnect. Now, bang! You got like this gigantic storm somewhere.
These are too close together.
Yeah.
These three systems here, they're all too close together.
Yeah.
I just wonder that the impact of the lead system for Saturday is still not done changing, and that we could wake up tomorrow morning looking at the overnight runs and seeing a different idea here for the middle part of next week. And I'm gonna go back to the NAM because we might have a little bit more, because I want to resolve this.
We're stuck at what, 56 or 57?
We were at 54.
54, so we got to get to 60 or.
Well, everybody's looking at the NAM.
Well, yeah, we're up to 60.
We're up to
now.
60. So, and here is the 60. So
this is 12.
This is 7A. It's still raining pretty hard on Long Island and coastal New Jersey, and you got showers back into eastern PA.
Right.
Look where that low is still. It's in southeastern Iowa.
Right near Des Moines, I think.
It's
right?
barely moved.
Yeah.
We got to see what the snow amounts for this are. Snow amounts.
Now we had a viewer last night from Minnesota, didn't we? Or?
Yes, we did. That was on YouTube. In fact, he asked me today, and I told him he could maybe nudge your numbers up for southeastern Minnesota, because they were only going for an inch or two where he is. Again, this is the NAM at 10-1. I'm thinking maybe the top numbers are a bit overdone, but certainly could be every bit of. There's going to be 1 foot plus snows in that general area. I don't know why it's doing all this stuff in the Catskills, because if that happens, that's all ice.
Right.
And by the way, the bulk of it falls at night into Sunday morning, which makes no sense.
Even for the Hudson Valley.
It has it pretty far south there into northwest New Jersey.
I'm just going to leave you for a second. I'm going to take a look at the foos.
Yeah, pull it up. Let's see what's going on.
It goes out to 60 hours, so it should be out.
It'll take us to Sunday morning. I mean, through 2 a.m., Joe, you've got freezing. You've got that freezing precip in northeastern PA, extreme northeastern PA, and in the Catskills, and then it runs up into northern New England. But that is.
I have not mentioned anything in the Hudson Valley
about frozen.
Any kind of frozen for Saturday.
Well, neither did I. But I'm really starting to wonder now with that high building the way, because the whole character of this has changed, with the low just taking forever to get out of the way. Again, I'm going to go back to last night's run. So this is for Sunday morning. Gee, Joe, last night the low. Look at a huge difference here. What a difference. Last night, the low was forecast to be in Lake Huron, okay? The occluded front already through here. The rain, basically, from eastern Long Island and western Connecticut westward, long gone.
Okay, well...
total difference.
At 60 hours up in Albany, the thickness is 553. This is for Sunday morning now. 553 with a T1 of only +2. At LaGuardia, it's 559. The T1 is +9. So if you look at this, it's much too warm, even down below.
Oh yeah. No, it's long done by. It's long changed over, even up there.
However, at 54 hours in Albany, it's still struggling. It's still at 0 T1 and a 547. At LaGuardia, it is 53 and 05. So.
All right. Question. LaGuardia, what's the wind a Sunday morning?
The boundary level wind is 12-19. It's southeast, east-southeast at 19.
A 20-knot southeast boundary wind on Sunday morning. And what's it at Philadelphia?
Philadelphia, it is 12-15.
You wonder, Joe, is it going to take? Are we going to be sitting in clouds, low clouds, and temperatures in the 40s for a good part of the day on Sunday?
Well, it would not be surprising. In fact, at LaGuardia, between 54 and 60, they drop almost a half an inch of moisture on us. 98, 93, 77. That's the R1, R3, R1, R2, R3.
All right, finally by 1 p.m., the rain is done. And the low at this point is in southwestern Michigan, and you're still snowing back through Wisconsin, Iowa, Nebraska, and down into northern Kansas. Still there.
Yeah.
At this point, you're getting, it's prime. The low that's, there's a low that's going to develop at the point of occlusion, so that the primary finally disappears, and you've got a secondary low in the Gulf of Maine here for early Monday morning. So, okay. Big question is whether we're going to see improvement Sunday. It may not happen till Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, well, that's the key. We got to get the occlusion through. We got to get the winds to turn around from the east or east northeast or east southeast into a southwesterly direction. If that happens, the temperatures will go up. And I think for the first half of the day on Sunday, if you're thinking that it's going to be delightful, so we go out and get some bagels.
You might have to wait till early afternoon to see some really improvement.
Go out and get the newspapers. It'll be. They say it's going to be in the 50s. It's not going to be in the 50s when you hit.
Yeah, you know those forecasting pronouns that are out there. They are always saying.
Well, tomorrow it's going to be a case of telling everybody or stressing that if it is going to get warm, if it is going to get into the 50s, it ain't going to happen until after during the afternoon hours.
A collective hello to everybody that said hello, and those of you who didn't even say hello. Hello. Rocco Fridella, miss you too, guy. Let's see.
Hi, Dennis.
Dennis is on. I'm trying to get to some questions. Jean Marie Lemulik says it's been snow showering every day where she is up in the Catskills. Yeah, this whole thing in the east under the block, that's always the danger where you wind up. Look at us, we've been cloudy for how long?
Right, and in fact, I said this morning.
And the snow showers up in upstate New York as well.
I said this morning to my wife. I looked out the window. It was like 8 or 9 o'clock, and I looked out, and we had about 80% cloud cover. And I said, "What the heck is going on?" It's supposed to be mostly sunny, and the and
Dave McBride. Dave McBride, we love you. We really do.
I love that comment.
The governor thinks it's been snowing every day in New Jersey. Plows out for rain and fog. Oh my God, is that so true?
And then that's how they're going to run through the whole supply this next couple of weeks. But I was saying, just getting back, 80% cloud cover, and I said, "What is this? It's supposed to be mostly sunny." Well, it actually did become mostly sunny, but
right.
We've been up, especially where I am, up in the Hudson Valley. The cold air, the interaction with the higher terrain, producing these clouds that have been hanging out for much too long a period of time.
No Cole Porter tonight, Scott. He reminded me that 66. The record at Central Park is 66 for Sunday, and if it takes forever to get out of the way, those clouds, that record's pretty safe.
If we get even near 66, it won't be until probably Sunday evening after 60 minutes.
Tony Mangiello, it's the Wednesday, December 12th. I'll be at the Babylon Library in Babylon, which is a good place to have the Babylon Library.
Yes.
Yeah, that's Wednesday, December 12th at 7 o'clock. Let's see. Oh, thank you, Frank Martucci. He says the NJ dot was out in Fort today.
Spreading pickle juice
today. Are you kidding me? For what? Frank, that can't possibly have been today. I mean, we had in and out sun in most places. They could not have been doing that today. Please don't tell me that they're out doing this today. If this keeps up through the whole winter. What are they going to do if they keep salting for all these non-existent events now? Are they going to have anything left when the real thing comes?
Now they're frightening. They're saying now.
Oh no! You know what? This is such a ridiculous overreaction. For one thing, maybe if now you're going to get me on a rant, and I don't know if we want to do that.
No.
I'm just going to say, you know what?
Hey, you're not paying for it.
No, I understand that, but I'm just going to say this.
The people who are in New Jersey, for taxpayers, are paying for it.
I'm just going to say this. It was pretty clear for a couple of days before this all happened that regardless of the snow amounts, that the rush hour commute was that Thursday was going to be hell. You and I said it.
Right.
I went back and looked at a lot of my posts that I did for the 3 days prior.
Right.
And I must have said it, had it in there a dozen times. We said it in the newsroom. We said it on the air. Okay. If
we're having like a pool. The number of accidents that were going to occur the following day.
This was not necessarily because of the forecast, that it was under forecast. The reality is that your municipalities do not budget for snow removal during the month of November, and they are extremely hesitant to approve overtime.
Right.
That's the reason why, if of all the reasons that are out there about this, that is the reason, folks. Check your municipality, and I would bet you that that the municipality only budgets for snow removal during December, January, February, and March. And if something happens in April, if they've got money left over, they spend it there. Okay? They don't budget for November because the November snowfalls are rare. They're only one every 10 years. So they figure why bother to budget for it? That's the reason. So this is all just an incredible overreaction now, that every mention of a snowflake or an ice pellet is going to send out, the whole crews out there, just wasting time and money.
You know what's going to happen? Here's my prediction. We're not going to see much, if any, ice or snow in the tri-state area through the rest of through December, January, even on into much of February. All during that time frame, there are going to be some what we call phantom snowstorms, or situations where it looks like it's going to snow, and they go out and they brine the roadways and they put the salt down, the sand down, and so finally, when we get the big one, either in late February or in March or whatever, you're going to see various officials say, "Well, we used so much of the stuff already, and we're running low, so we're going to have to." You get what I'm saying?
Well, I know
what's going to happen. It's crazy.
Collective.
It's crazy.
Sigh. All right, we got a couple of minutes, just really fast. I'm going to go back. Let's go back to the NAM. Hold on. Show everybody.
Well, we can go now to 84 hours. So
yes, we can.
We can go to
which will take us into Monday at least.
Monday.
Can we perhaps derive a clue? There we go. So. Okay, so that's Monday morning. I mean, look, it's still snowing back through Iowa and Nebraska on up into southern Michigan. That whole, let's look at the upper air.
You talk about what we got 2 weeks ago. The people in Chicago are probably saying, what did we do to deserve this?
I mean, look at this, Joe. This whole upper trough is still not through here.
Right.
I stand by what I said earlier. We're going to see some the next at least the next 2 or 3 runs of model guidance for next week change up a little bit because of this.
Right.
I mean, this is Monday, and that trough still isn't out of the way. So, let's wait till tomorrow. Okay? Let's wait till tomorrow, because I think we're going to see some. I really think we're going to see some interesting things on some of the overnight model runs. So let me go. Let's get everybody. Let me real fast go back here. Oh, tiny rant. I know, Jimmy Nurick. It was a tiny rant. I also thought the salt was not delivered yet, said Jason Barry. Well, that's another possibility, too. Maybe they didn't have any salt to begin with.
Yeah, but with the classic, in advance of a big snowstorm, every news department, every television station sends a reporter out to the place where they store the salt. And they always have the reporter standing in front of a mountain of salt saying, here's what they're getting ready to put on the roads for tonight and tomorrow. That kind of thing.
Exactly.
So.
Tons of... Okay, Corey, seriously. In South Jersey, tons of brine on the roads in South Jersey? Oh, my God. Any kind of a wind that's got an easterly component in it, it drives the temperature to 50 from Atlantic City south. I can't. I really can't. Let's say goodnight.
Jeanette Myers wants to know what the prediction for Tuesday and Wednesday. Right. Yes.
Stay tuned, Jeanette.
Stay tuned.
Okay. Many model runs to go yet. All right. Okay. Daniel. Oh, poor Daniel. So much rain down there, and where he is in the Blue Ridge Mountains, he's ready to grow webbed feet.
Oh.
He's almost double the normal, I think, for the for the year. All right, let's say goodnight, Joe. I'm on at the top of the hour, FiOS 1 News Long Island and FiOS 1 News New Jersey.
And I'll be on with Mike Gilliam on FiOS 1 News Lower Hudson Valley at the top of the hour. And we'll see how all this progresses tomorrow, Joe.
Yes, and real quick, folks, you can watch, in case you ever missed the Joe and Joe show, you, of course, I usually upload it to YouTube. So if you go to my YouTube channel, Joe Chaffee, and subscribe to that, which is free, you can, you can watch it on the replay, or you can find it on Facebook. But also, you can watch the Joe and Joe show on my app, which is absolutely free, and it's on Google Play. So if you have an Android device, you can download my weather app and install it on your phone, and you can watch the Joe and Joe show there, along with my other live streams and the other posts that I do and the forecast and everything else. The iPhone version is still not ready to go yet, waiting for Apple to give the okay, and hopefully that'll come any day now. So in the meantime, you're going to have to be patient if you've got an iPhone. But if you've got an Android, go ahead and download it. It's on Google Play. Have a great evening, everybody. We will see you tomorrow.
We'll be here tomorrow. Bye.